Okay, there we go. And then I know Stephen Fuller is out of town, and also Genevieve is at another board meeting. So it's our skeleton crew.
Yeah.
Hello, Joanna.
Hi, I had to turn my my speaker on. I just want to say one thing quickly. I've got a net meeting at 7, so I'm going to have to leave a little early.
Okay, no worries. I'm glad you're here. Appreciate you joining us. All right. Well, let's see. I think we all kind of know each other. Already connected Julie and Elliot. Joanna, have you? Yes, you were on the board meeting. Elliot, would you take a moment and introduce yourself?
Yeah, sure. My name's Elliot Bald. I'm a recent new resident to the Whitaker, and I'm now the vice chair. And so I have a lot of plans for the nonprofit specifically, but also what the neighborhood organization can do. And so it's spent a lot of new committees that I'll be creating, and also a lot of new actions. So yeah, I have lots to do in 1 year, and I'm planning on doing it all, which I'm finding the rest of the board maybe is saying slow down, but I'm going to keep the pace up and we'll see what works and what doesn't. So yeah.
Excellent. Thank you. And Thea sent me a great picture of you at the Adopt a Block meetup.
Yeah, so I went and met the Adopt a Block founder, Frank. He's great. Really, I went there kind of selfishly being like, hey, is there any grants you can maybe give us? Because they're quite transparent with their funding and everything. And to me, they seem like they're flush with cash, you know. But apparently they're having difficulty kind of going beyond supplying buckets and trash grabbers to something more substantial, maybe like a push manual sweeper that sweeps a sidewalk or something. Those are quite expensive. Those are around $1,000 if you want like a commercial grade one. But $1,000 in one community, that's a pretty big impact versus, 20 buckets, 20 trash grabbers. You're probably getting close up there. So I tried to give that pitch to him. He wasn't super receptive, but I think we have a great community here, and we might just give it a shot ourselves. I'm thinking about maybe going around and creating a citizen cleaners fund, going around to businesses in the neighborhood and being like, hey, we will clean publicly accessible areas, which also means we will go and pick up cigarette butts in your parking lot. And they might perk up at that and be like, oh, like that directly benefits me, directly benefits everyone in the Whitaker because we all are patrons of their businesses and stuff. So basically I would draw the line where, hey, if your private property is publicly accessible to us, I'm going to consider it when I go clean in the neighborhood. I'll clean up your parking lot too, that kind of thing. And that way we don't have to rely on grants. I'll see how far I can go with just going for private funding from the neighborhood. Seems like a lot of people want to donate money, and I feel like just the Whitaker Community Council hasn't put themselves in the position to say, hey, we're ready for funding. So I want to put ourselves in that position to say, hey, you can trust us. We are fully accountable to you since you are our members. If you don't like what I'm doing, kick me out next year. It's quite, you get me out of leadership really fast. So yeah, that's my plan. And I'm not sure if I'll do it through the Public Health and Safety Committee or if I'll form a own committee, maybe a sanitation committee committed to that. I already have some buy-in from some members who would love to volunteer with me and do that fairly consistently. Like every weekend, we do a full sweep of the neighborhood. Right now, I can only cover kind of the northwest area just by myself on the weekend. So I think, yeah. And in addition, I have it planned out in kind of phases. So I imagine 4 phases of funding. Phase 1 is very basic, volunteer-based, where it's just very entry-level equipment. Once I feel like we've done that, then I feel comfortable asking our local residents and businesses for more money to add on different phases, different equipment levels, different investment levels. And I think that's a good way to approach the community. Be like, hey, phase one, very little money, buy in, see how we do. If you actually see us doing stuff, I think we can move on to phase two, higher budgets, higher funding levels, more professional equipment. And so that's my plan for the next month, is setting that.
Wow.
If that
Excellent.
makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. Excellent. What,
I love that. I love it. Yeah.
yeah, really. Way to go to take a ball and run down the court with it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Great. Were there other folks at that at the Adopt a Block meetup besides?
So Thea and Travis were there. I
Oh,
was
Travis.
surprised. I rolled up and Travis was on the phone. Yeah, I'm here. Oh, and Ellie's here too. And so we actually a few other people that I didn't know, but I think they lived kind of on 8th Avenue, so a little further south than us, that also had concerns. But yeah, just wanted to network and see that other people are doing the same and see if we could work together a bit more. Go
Yeah.
beyond just a trash picker upper. Yeah.
It's great. Thank you, Julie, for setting that up.
Yeah.
Starting that ball rolling, even though you weren't around. It sounds like it got a lot of traction. So it's great.
I'm super happy that the event went well. And Elliot, I love the energy that you're bringing to it. I am excited about it and I intend to continue to participate, but I've also got bandwidth into the Map Your Neighborhood, Neighborhood Ready, and my summer concert series. So I don't have that bandwidth to run with it right now. So I'm thrilled that you're taking this on.
Definitely. I feel like I have a clean slate coming in here with no baggage, no prior promises, no prior projects. So I have the time. I definitely have the free time. I'm going to go for it. I'm already doing it. I might as well have some friends come along with me and we can be more efficient, that kind of thing.
Fabulous. Great. Okay. It's a great way to start our meeting. Okay, well, let's hop into our event if we can. This is shaping up kind of nicely, and I'm excited to see where you all think we could fluff it up or change it, or how we're going to pull this off. So far, we have CERT committed to coming. We have Andy Davis, who is our head of NCOMS for the city of Eugene. He's going to come and either be at the CERT table or lead a second presentation, which I'll tell you about in a second. Then we have Friends of Trees. We've got HeartSafe committed to coming. And then Shift Community Cycle, I just haven't been able to get a hold of. I've called Jim twice and sent a couple emails. So I know they're super busy right now with a big grant that they got, and they're like hiring new people and stuff. So I hope he can still roll on in there with that neat pop-up, like he had a pop-up shop kind of last time, which was really neat because he was showing folks how to adapt trailers to bikes and kind of like be really bike ready in emergencies. So hopefully they'll still have capacity to join us. Let's see. So then a couple more folks are on the fence. Amy Yogi has a prior engagement. She's the lovely CERT trainer that came and taught us that disaster psychology last time. So she won't be there. Let's see. Green Hill still pending. They do a great kind of display about how you get your pets ready for emergencies and stuff. The other new one that we have, I'm really excited, is Full Access. And they're a group that are focused on folks with special needs. And so they will be doing a table, most likely. That's pending, but it looks pretty solid. So they would have a really nice presentation about, I think last time at their Preparalooza, they had these really lovely little cards that you would carry in emergency that say, I have autism or I have special needs. So like they have a really neat kind of system that they're building for preparation. And so those are our partners so far. I have a feeling we'll have eWeb jump in at the last minute again, and then hopefully Sierra Anderson, who is our emergency manager for the city of Eugene. She was there last time. So that is a good start. In partners, I still would like more. So if anybody has any ideas or leads that we could add to it, or folks you'd like to see at the event.
I think that's a good list. I know this is our second time running this style of event.
Yes.
Is that a similar kind of head count of, I'm gonna call them vendors, as last time?
Yeah.
Or are we trying to expand it to be larger after we did our first one? We wanted it to be, but
Trying to get it a little bit bigger. Oh, that made me remember Cascadia Mobility. They're pending as well. I need to just start calling folks. And yeah, I think from memory last time we had Cascadia, we had Julie and Megan had their Map Your Neighborhood table, and we had our Go Bag table. There were like 6 tables, if I think. Does that sound right, Julie?
That sounds about right. Yeah. City of Eugene was there. Was CERT there last time?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Thomas Price came with CERT.
Shift. I think six or 7 is about right. So this is a little bit bigger.
Yeah, I'm hoping to get a little bit bigger. I thought the addition of Green Hill, and then so we're pulling in more things. We've got pets, folks with special needs. And then Friends with Trees. That's such a neat kind of element because they've got a pretty neat plan. So from there, do you mind if I move on? Because I'll get into the list then. Some of those folks will do kind of a co-location of speaking, because last time Elliot, we had this really nice little learning circle, and we set up chairs and people could come and do presentations. So this time, the speakers I have thus far, let me go to the top of my list. We have Jen Shack, Executive Director of Willamette Farm and Food Coalition, will be presenting her talk again that she did. It's really neat. Twinkies, Pandas, and Victory Gardens, Preparedness and Resilience in Local Food Systems. Then we'll have Jeff Holloman, biologist, aquaculturist, and waterless sanitation advocate, will lead a discussion about creating functional household toilets for Oregon emergency kits, and what sanitation options are best practices when the sewer fails. Then I've got at 12:30, Andy Davis, who I mentioned, the Eugene Incom manager, and he'll be educating folks on the FRS systems, Family Radio Service, and how they benefit their community. Hopefully, he might be able to bring a whole pile of them that they'd train people on. So we'd have people running all over the park playing with them, which would be really neat. Because it's funny, I have them and I just kind of geek out, and then I panic. It's like, well, because it's so many channels and it's kind of overwhelming. So I'm so glad that he'll be there to kind of give us a hands-on training for that. And then from there, we've got the Heart Safe Eugene Springfield Fire Group, and they'll be coming to do their booth, which is going to look like a super neat pop-up. They get some nurse volunteers, and the nurses come out and they have these dummies, so they teach people how to do the CPR and basic life resuscitation skills. But they may do an actual presentation on AED training. So like in emergencies, like if somebody's having a heart attack and we don't have power, like how you would think about the AED. We own one. We got one during the clinics, the vaccine clinics, because I was just so freaked out. I thought, remember how weird it was in the beginning of the pandemic? It was like I was so afraid that there would be a adverse reaction and stuff. So the council owns one, and I don't know, maybe we'll bring it out and let them teach us how to use it, or they'll probably bring their own. But it really made me think too that we should always have it on site for events. I mean, it would be horrible if somebody had an event and we have one, but we didn't bring it. So I'm going to add that to our master list that you and I were working from, Julie, like who brings what, and I'll add that to my pile of stuff. So that's about it in terms of the speakers and the presenters. I got kind of pulled off of other tasks recently that were really pressing. So I'm gonna throw my back into this tomorrow and try to finish up the grouping so we have everybody confirmed. Julie, do you want to talk about the band?
Yeah, so Victor from Boxcar Figaro is bringing his group again. I love them. I think they're fantastic for this sort of setting. He's also just the nicest guy in the world to work with. Last time we were struggling a little bit with our band placement versus our learning circle, and so we asked him to show up at a particular time and then said, "Hey, sorry, would you mind waiting a little
Right.
while?" And he could not have been nicer. He has
Right.
donated his time to us at least 3 or 4 times now. I'm super happy to have him at my Art in the Parks lineup as well, and I'm going to be able to pay him for that. So that's awesome.
Good.
I asked him to come between 12 and 2.
Okay.
It's my recollection anyway. But if we need to adjust that, like I say, he couldn't be more accommodating. I
Great.
think he needs to be about where he was last time because of proximity to the power source.
Right.
So we'd already talked about moving the speakers in the learning circle perhaps to the other end of the court-ish, spreading out our footprint. We had the whole court, both courts last time, and we were really pretty grouped in the one end. If you have time, Doriandra, maybe we can go walk around, or anybody who has time could go walk around the courts and just talk about what we did last time and how we'd like it to be different. Because we do have the whole space reserved. We can use it.
Yeah, that sounds great. I would love to do that. Because I mean, I think our biggest challenge is, or for me right now in trying to build the schedule is I don't want Victor to have to be like stopping and starting again. So I figure, maybe we'll put our speakers at the top of the day, and then just let them play. But again, like we want to think about event fluidity and what's best for our participants. And the third kind of monkey wrench is this fun cooking competition.
Oh yeah.
That is really fun. I named it Recipes for Disaster, which I just love. And I was hoping Thea would get on tonight. I'll email her later, but we need to start gathering food donations. And I'm guessing Red Apple runs, Marcus would probably be a great person to ask. I know some of us are bringing weird things, like Jen is bringing these weird Russian MREs that sorry, I'm pivoting around a little bit, but this is kind of the biggest challenge when we talk about the footprint is how do we do this event for the food competition? I kind of think it should go last in the day simply because it's almost like the big headliner.
Right. And we
and-
did taper off in attendance. People were excited about the giveaways that we had. So we had a lot of early attendees who wanted to make sure they were going to get those gift cards.
Yes.
And then toward the end, it was very little.
Yeah. Exactly.
So I love that.
Yeah, I think if we bookend it with that, we'd be in good shape. Yeah, the layout is, I think just walking it is probably makes the best sense because it seems like the little Recipes for Disaster should be kind of just set up part of the learning circle, because we want to have those chairs set up so people can watch the event, and that would be the same placement for the speakers audience, right?
It occurs to me that we need power over there as well because of a mic. And did we bring our own amplification, our own mic, or did we co-opt Victor's?
We borrowed it from Jen.
Okay.
And then we took Jen's equipment when Victor got there and plugged it into his. And so it may be cleaner this time. I'll ask Jen what she thinks. But the system worked great. It was perfect. But so it kind of tells me that for the the three major things we need amplification for, we should just kind of get them all in the same area. I mean, maybe just spread it out a little bit bigger, but follow that same idea that we did last time, where it's
Okay.
all by the power, and then
Well, running power to one mic is going to be easier than running power for Victor's whole setup.
Mhm.
But if you're not doing speakers while the band is playing, then we have less of an issue.
Right.
And so yeah, let's maybe, as you firm up who's coming and who's talking,
Mhm.
work on your schedule, and then let me reach out to Victor and just see what his flexibility is. He was pretty much there the whole event
He
last time.
was. Yeah.
So I'm speaking for him presumptively, but I think that he could probably be pretty flexible with us.
Okay. That's fabulous. Yeah. I mean, like, hi, Thea.
Yeah.
Hey guys,
Nice to see you.
Good to see you.
good to see you all. I'm cooking dinner for my husband too, so I might have to run downstairs, but
Gotcha.
That's okay. We understand.
sorry.
Okay, well, let's so we'll do a walk about, and we'll I think kind of developing the food event right now would be really wise, because then we kind of know what we're thinking about in terms of the footprint. So what about just 2 long tables, which then our speakers could use as well for whatever, we move them back out of the way, and then we put our competitors, we want to call them, uh, facing the audience, and then they'll be going through all their crazy food preparations. And then we have a table for the judges, a smaller table. And so far, the food judges, we have Stephen Fuller and Margaret. I think we should have one more judge.
At least, yeah.
Yeah.
Will your husband be a judge for food?
Oh,
My husband? Whose
Yeah.
husband? Oh,
Your husband. He's a foodie.
yeah, but he's also somebody who doesn't like to spend his time standing around at these kinds of things. So I don't know. I will ask him.
okay.
What about, you think one of the fellows from the Apple? If we're asking them to donate food, but then that's asking for their time as well. I don't know if they'd be interested.
Yeah, good point.
Do we have any of the chefs from any of the restaurants in town that we could pull
Oh,
away that aren't cooking from that time?
Nelson?
Nelson would be so fun.
Nelson would be hilarious and awesome, and Margaret knows him quite well. I
Mm-hmm.
understand anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the middle of a Saturday afternoon, so I don't know how that affects his Saturday, right? The 11th. Anyway, I don't know how
Okay.
his schedule is.
Let's ask Nelson. He is so positive and just brings like a good vibe wherever he goes. So
Yeah.
yeah, great idea. Okay. I see you smiling, Elliot. I bet you would be a judge, but
Well, I wanted to maybe invite my fiance Tana. She's getting her master's in dietetics and is quite a good cook, and she would absolutely love to judge a cooking competition at the park.
What? That would be super fun.
Yeah, so back up.
okay.
Definitely, I'll have to ask her first. I'm just
She
haven't
might
asked her yet.
be some mean competition though.
What if we had Nelson as backup or as the fourth?
Yeah.
Right. Well, I mean, Tana would be an incredible competitor too, because I would love to see what she makes out of a pile
Yeah.
of old.
And she's done cooking videos before for programs and stuff. So yeah, and she's just great in front of
Wow.
people, so yeah.
Would you want to just kind of host it? Because we're really going to need somebody,
Yeah, I mean, she
announcing
could
the
probably host
categories.
the
I
whole
mean,
thing.
It's gonna
Anyways,
be-
I'll get back to you. I'll
Okay,
pitch
all
it to
right.
her.
We didn't mean to well, you dragged her in, but
I dragged her in happily. Yeah.
because
I do know that Derek is quite the foodie
oh,
and he is
Derek,
on the board, but I don't
Yes.
know if he'll be here that weekend, but Derek is a foodie.
that's a brilliant idea. Usually he's off in sea fishing or crabbing or something, right? Okay, this is really fun. Derek, he is hilarious. Yeah, it's just and then we need an MC, someone to say, all right, now you've got, 30 seconds to make an all gluten meal that's vegan and it's like,
Oh, that's great. Hold on. Okay.
so, I mean, I figured those would be good categories, like traditional, a kid's meal, maybe gluten-free, and then vegan. Anything else?
Comfort food.
Oh, yeah.
So
In
maybe
a
the
disaster,
traditional
you
should
need
be comfort.
Comfort.
Let's call that that's comfort. Yeah. Comfort in a crisis is so good. Comfort crisis.
How many categories do we have for this thing? And how many participants? Are multiple people in multiple categories? It seems like,
I
are
think
they all pre-made too, or are we whipping it up there?
oh, they're whipping it up. They're whipping
Okay,
it
all
up.
right,
And
okay.
we have no cooking ability. And I think I could make it even harder by no water. I mean, we're
Wow.
talking like end of the world
Oh,
style here.
Okay,
Shelf
I
stable
understand now.
foods.
I understand.
Yeah.
Okay.
So like you're opening those antiquated ketchup packets from 1984 that are in your junk drawer
Yeah.
type of thing, and mixing it with something and then putting it on a nice little plate and giving it to a brave judge.
And being in, a crisis, this would make me feel better.
Yeah. Right.
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 Homemade meal.
So I'll have Kelsey, really have fun with the social media part of it. Recipes for disaster, cooking event. And I'll try to I meet with her tomorrow. So I'll get her going with like that as a specific event that's part of our, May 11th. Or should we do two? I'll ask her opinion on that. But and then there'll be kind of like contestant signups. So people can, write to me or somebody and we'll start to like gather people. But yeah, the biggest thing is, okay, so we need plates, we need mixing bowls. I mean, it's kind of a lot. I
Hand
have some,
sanitizer.
copious amounts of hand sanitizer, trash cans. I mean, it's kind of like thinking about a very large, chaotic picnic.
Blown event. Yeah.
So, yeah, I think one thing would be good is, Julie, remember our spreadsheet I had going on last time? It's so buried in the drive here, but why don't I pass that around tomorrow? We'll just get it together on email and I'll make a fresh one with, all the things we need to bring. And then maybe people can just pop in, like for instance, it's like literally a picnic set of, non-breakable bowls for mixing stuff. And then so I can bring like a whole set of dishes that people can use to mess around.
And so we'll have our grocery store with all the donated food laid out, and
Right.
the cooks, the competitors get to go and
Mhm.
choose. I'm gonna make canned oysters on saltines. That'd be about my speed, but
Mhm.
and
Camp
choose their
kitchen.
items. Pardon?
I have a camp kitchen that I won from REI.
Ooh,
I could bring that day that actually has shelves and a hook to hang things on.
Oh, one of
So the
those.
groceries could be on that.
right. That's really
Perfect.
cute. Yeah, I like that.
We could
Okay.
hang a sign,
Yeah,
pull out my teacher skills and make some stupid sign.
I'd love that, Thea. I'd love that.
I should be a cook.
Yeah. You should be a contestant.
I kind of want to be.
Good.
You'd be good.
Yeah. Okay.
You should see what I just made in the last 5 minutes, and he's very happy.
Thea makes the best soup in the world, Elliot, if you ever
Oh,
get a
nice.
chance. She's
Nice.
the soup queen. Does everybody agree we should just omit the cooking part? I know Thea wanted to you mentioned, oh, we should be able to cook, but for safety, like We don't have open flames.
Yeah.
Yeah. Unless it's an MRE style thing that can be heated up with the little chemical doodah in an MRE. I don't
Mhm.
have any of them, but
No, I don't either.
that seems like the only real safe way to do it. Open flame is probably not in accordance with our permit.
Yep.
As the person who filled out the permit, I'm pretty sure that I said there wasn't going to be any fire.
We're not
But we can
barbecuing.
borrow from the guys that are cooking across the street in their little cans. Sorry.
Yeah. We could narrow the scope and make it even more competitive and more fun and more unique. I think that's
Yeah.
good, while staying compliant with our permit,
Right.
not going overboard.
Right. And I think, yeah, we could get like bottled water. The no water thing is really, that's hardcore, but
Yeah.
we'll get some water, like a little, so that if somebody needed water, they could use that. But yeah, just have like a little pile of like preparing stuff. And then should we just, should we buy some bamboo or good compostable little paper plate? Yeah, we should do that.
Yeah.
Like little simple paper
Yeah,
plate.
definitely.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So we can do that. Now, Thea, do you want to go bug Taz and Tad about this?
Oh, Tom and Tad.
Tom and Tad. I don't always think it's Taz. Yeah. Do you think they'd want to donate some stuff?
You need them to donate some canned goods, dry goods,
Yeah, it would be good.
and old produce.
No produce, right? Because this is stuff that you'd have in your pantry in the
Shelf
event of a
stable.
disaster.
You
But
might have
you might-
produce at the very beginning.
You might.
Mm-hmm.
That's fair.
Let's see. Yeah, then that just adds another element of hygiene that I tell you what, let's just as a community start reaching out, see who's got what. I mean, I still have a box of the fun OHA food boxes that they were donating for us for our COVID vaccination clinics. Remember those, Thea?
Yeah, and I am happy to talk to Tad and Tom. I'm sure they would donate. I mean, they are very willing to support the WCC in their events.
Okay.
They really are. So I
Okay.
could go talk to them and say, hey, we're going to do this fun contest. And because they always have a section in the back of their store where they're getting rid of a lot of things
Mm-hmm.
at a discount. And I can say, do you have anything? They donate to the mission all the time. So I could say, could you guys throw together some stuff that our contestants could do? And whatever I don't use, we'll donate to the mission.
Okay.
Or food for Lane County, because we're going to have leftover stuff.
Mhm.
Exactly.
When you said the mission, it made me think of Beth Sheehan. She has so much stuff there. I mean, the mission might donate stuff, but they're not.
Oh,
using.
absolutely, they would. And they would definitely have like extra can openers we could use, cutting
Oh,
boards.
Yeah,
Because you're going to need those kinds of things.
Okay. I bet Beth would be perfect about gathering that. And okay, that's a great idea.
And you could tell each contestant they only get one little water bottle. That's it, because it's a disaster. You have this much water, figure out how you're going to use it.
Good. Okay. I'm putting that in the rules. That's excellent. Okay.
And they could stand on 1 foot while cooking.
Right. Gets only one water bottle. Oh, that's cute. Okay. Perfect. Any other rules that we want to do? Like how much time should they have to prepare?
Yeah. If we have 4 categories, then 15 minutes each. And
Yep.
then if you add in judging, we're talking about maybe a 90-minute event by the time you talk and set it up and they do it and it gets judged. Less than 15 minutes. There's no cooking. 10 minutes each.
Yeah, 10 minutes each.
Yeah. That's what I was asking about categories. I was like, this will be a long section of the event if we want to really do this. Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm guessing judging would take 10 minutes because our judges might need to talk a little bit about the texture and the flavor and the ambiance of how the meal was
The
served.
presentation.
Yeah, presentation. Thank you. I lost my word.
Okay. All right. So then I'm thinking maybe this should go from 2 to 4 p.m. then because, or no, we close at 3.
2 to
So,
3 or 1:45 to 3. I guess
mhm,
if we start gathering people at 1:45 and it starts at 2.
we have, so we're talking 20 minutes, and there's going to be hilarity ensuing. So we
Yeah,
should cushion ourselves with some more time. Maybe
maybe gather people at 1:30 and aim to start at 1:45.
I like that. I'm going to write that down. And then we could just limit our categories. Comfort, crisis, food, healthy. I don't know.
You could combine vegetarian and what did we
Mhm.
have?
We
Comfort,
we have
vegetarian, gluten-free,
and vegan.
vegan.
Vegan's a hard one.
Um, well, no, I mean, you're not gonna have any cheese handy when it's a disaster. And there's not gonna be any, well, other than canned meats, so you wouldn't use canned. Maybe it's vegan, gluten-free in one.
There we go. Yeah, I like that. Okay. Because they can have a choice. Either or. Okay, perfect. And then our third one,
Oh, I wrote it down. Hold on.
okay. I was thinking a child's meal. But,
Often vegan and
Oh,
gluten-free
kids.
go together.
Right.
yeah. Okay.
I lied. I didn't write it down. You said kid meals. Yeah, that was the other one.
I mean, or is that too generalized? I mean, in a disaster, I mean, we're all eating peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. So,
Right.
You just
Um,
need calories. Yeah.
yeah, maybe we'll
How about dessert?
perfect. Okay, perfect.
So comfort,
Yeah.
vegan / gluten-free, and
Mhm.
dessert.
Perfect. All
Okay.
right. And then, so that's a 60 minutes of the prep and judging, and then another 20 minutes for hilariousness. So that's, yeah, that works. Okay. Thank you, guys. This is going to be ridiculously fun. And then I'm going to get some, I'll talk to Beth, and we may use some of our grant funds. I'm thinking we could get like a couple little gift baskets for the winners. Maybe Mountain Rose would donate some stuff, or
You
Beth.
might know somebody who would donate a massage, possibly. Yeah.
Oh, I'm going to compete now. Okay.
Grand prize.
Yes, that's a good idea.
Tom and Tad are always up for donating a gift card too. So
Okay. Yeah, and we have gift cards left over from the last time, so I'll just
Okay.
I'll pull 3 winners out of that and then put them in a little gift basket. So we'll have that. Okay, that's super fun. Okay, we're running out of time. So anything else before we wrap that up for now? Because we should get on to the new grant.
do you need my truck to get tables there?
Oh God, we do. Yeah, we do, Thea. Can you do that, or is that just too much?
I have a truck, so if that's a problem for Thea, I can
Julie,
use it.
how about Julie, you and I coordinate like we did last time?
Yeah, that works for me.
You guys are the best. Yeah, that's right. I forgot. We got to get all that stuff out of storage. And so then some. So, okay. Thank you for that. Okay. Anything else, or should we hop into the new grant?
I think we're
Hop in.
good.
Okay. So we got it. We got it. I'm so excited. This is
What did we get?
We got the Lane County Public, oh, I'm sorry, it's called the CHIP grant. It stands for Community Improvement Health Plan, and it's coming out of OHA. And it's inspired by things that different health providers and county agencies around us see as being essential to increasing community health. And so I took a really cool idea that Thea had. We made a grant together and it was rejected, and that it wasn't we didn't have a high chance of that. That was only one winner, and I think there was 110 people, and Beyond Toxics, which is a perfect fit for that grant, won it. But so I just took that idea and kind of and put it over into another grant, and we won that one. So her idea, Thea, we want to talk about it. It's brilliant. Tell us about your plan.
So I have always done square foot gardening. So you take a square foot and you can put a lot of food in a square foot. So I recommended we use 5-gallon buckets that we can get from Home Depot, Lowe's, Northwest Forest Products. brings recycling, and show people how to be able to grow some lettuce, tomatoes. You can grow a lot of stuff in a 5-gallon bucket. You can even grow potatoes underneath. So it was a way to show our apartment dwellers and people who don't have garden space how to garden in a bucket, to have healthy vegetables. And to show your kids, I used to garden with my students, and they would learn to grow a lot of food in a small space, you know, spring peas, spinach in the fall, because depending upon when we start this, what's going to be able to grow. And then did you also get the garden plot?
City of Eugene hasn't confirmed that yet. And since the grant decisions were a month late, we may not even go down that route. So
Okay, well, if you still want it, I know someone that I can push for that.
can you?
Is managing it, yeah.
Okay.
Because I know that we have some people that are interested in being able, because they couldn't get in on the lottery, because there's a lottery for our garden plots.
Yep.
But they would love to be able to start gardening over there. So we could get some apartment dwellers gardening over there as well.
Okay, if you want to push that angle, that would be great. The timeline for the grant is shortened by a month because they had so many applicants that we were late to know. So the window is pretty tight. Technically, we're losing about 3 weeks of it. Not so bad, but we'll be able to launch May 1st, and we'll close it up at the end of September. So we have this like perfect little growing cycle, and we want to dive in as quick as we can and figure it out. So
And Sunday Market's going to allow a table there. Is that correct?
correct. We'll have table at Sunday Market, and we have seeds. So I have 800 in budget for food starts, organic little food starts from Willamette Farm and Food Farmer Coalition. So we'll be getting that right away when we're ready. I'm going to go ahead and apply. Go ahead, Julie.
My friend Renee, who loves to bring me things from the food banks and the free, anyway, where she gets stuff, brought me a giant bag of seeds.
Wonderful. Okay.
So I took some over to my friend, and once she's had her pick, it's literally a heavy plastic shopping bag filled with seed packets. So I don't know what I'm going to do with them otherwise. I'd love for them to be part of this.
Oh, that's fabulous. Well, let's do that. Yeah, I mean, what do you think about that, Thea? Because it seems, I mean, I have all my little starts going behind me on the ironing board, and the heater gets, I put all my seeds in there before so that we're like, there's something to start, and I could totally do some of these too. What do you think, Thea, with this short growing window that we have now with?
Really awesome to have seeds. So I think everybody should have seeds, but we should also be able to give them some actual starts of plants, which I think we can get enough donations around. I think Grays will even donate too. Because even if you get the tail end of a plant that they're ready to toss, if you're watering and caring for it, they come back often. And just so that that family can see some lettuce growing and know that you can pick off a few leaves and it's going to still keep coming. You don't have to chop the whole thing.
Right.
And, Weimart is another place that could probably donate plants because they're starting to bring in their tomatoes right now. It's way too early for tomato season. But in another month or so, they'll have so many tomatoes they won't know what to do with.
Right.
So
Okay.
if we start hitting them up for leftovers ahead of time,
that's
as long as we can give everybody, like, here's a plant to start your bucket, but then let's put some seeds around it too, and it keeps your crop going.
I like that. Okay, I'm just pulling up the approved budget, and we've got, we have 800 for seeds and starts. It sounds like we don't need seeds.
Well, let me go through and see what there is, because corn isn't growing in a bucket. I literally don't know what
They'll
else.
grow it in a bucket.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Because it's deep enough.
Huh.
So you could probably grow 2 to 3 stalks in a bucket, depending upon your bucket.
Okay.
They're going to be close to each other. You can grow damn near anything you can grow in the garden, you can grow in a bucket.
Cool. Well, I'll run it by you then, Thea, because you're the person who's done this. Okay, so 800 for seeds. Sorry, Oriandra.
That's okay. We've got, let's see, I've got 1,000 for backyard farmer. Oh, go ahead, Elliot.
I was gonna say, for apartment dwellers, I think it's great to start with kind of the dessert level plants. So I'm thinking strawberries, berries. Currently, I have some flower pots that hang on my fence, and they have strawberries in them, and they're just starting to go crazy. So they're ready, and those are great. You can hang them from balcony railings, and they're interlocking, so they'll hang, cascade down 3 or 4, and you can definitely grow some strawberries that dangle over and stuff. I feel like a lot of local gardeners are about to start. So strawberries stretch out, populate, clone themselves like crazy. We could ask the local people, hey, do you have any strawberries taking over your garden? Clip off some clippings and give it to us, and we can kind of share that amongst the community. That kind of thing. Yeah.
Sure.
Absolutely. So avant gardeners, we could even put a post on there because I know my girlfriend just gave me a bunch of strawberry starts. I've literally had them in a bucket for a month now, and I've just been squirting them with water. And yesterday I got half of them planted, but I haven't planted the rest because I just didn't have time, but I've just been keeping them moist. They're really hardy.
Yeah.
That's a great idea. Okay.
And she'll have more as well. Strawberries are awesome because
That is a great idea.
you have to have something that's going to produce. If you just have a seed, it can be disappointing, but strawberries are fun. And if you're a kid, you get to pick them.
Yeah, they're so good.
It's
Oh,
a real entry level plant for gardening, I'd say.
great idea. Okay. All right. We'll focus on, oops, let me get back to my grant section. I'm writing in the wrong section. All right. Perfect. So we'll focus on little things like that. And yeah, jumping back to our May 11th event, we will have figured out enough stuff and we could probably do our own presentation. Public Health and Safety Committee does like maybe we'll give ourselves 40 minutes instead of the other 20 minutes that the speakers have, because I have a little time in there. Like we could even start our event. Yeah. Maybe I'm going to stop inviting people because now we're running out of time. So I'll stop inviting speakers, but
You could have a sign up. So
yeah.
where people just come by a table.
Okay. All right.
Even with your speakers, you could have people just have tables at the disaster event.
Okay.
You know, sign up for a workshop at the Sunday Whitaker Market.
Okay. Yeah, that was kind of my plan, was that we would do like, we would just use the market on Sundays as our start point and education point. It gives us a huge block of time and a huge captive audience. Does everybody feel good about that? Okay.
Yeah.
And then I think we should have one community event probably at the market, like something out on the grass. Because the deliverables on this grant are, they're going to be really achieved by just as much community presence as we have. And that's why I thought the market was the best place to start. So, okay.
When's the first concert again?
Say it again.
The first concert that Julie's got coming, I've forgotten. Do you remember when your first concert is, Julie?
I do. It's July 18th,
Okay.
which is maybe, I mean, if we're planning an event to give away buckets, and
It's a little late in the season.
that's a bit late. I was looking at maybe mid-June, June 6th. Well, that's Father's Day. June 9th? Is that too soon?
I don't think so.
Can we have supplies? We can probably have supplies, though that's a bit ambitious right after the month after our event in the park.
When's U of O's graduation and high school graduations this year?
Oh, right.
Good question.
Let's see. Let me look that up. That is a
usually around. I'm in front of a computer. I can look that up.
okay.
That's on June 17th. It's on Monday, June 17th
All right. So we have a little
for the
break.
university. I
Okay.
don't have a clue about high schools.
I'm asking.
Now, Thea, part of the budget, I put a lot in for graphic arts, and we don't even need to use it for that. We have 25% leverage with changing our categories. So we can, I put in 1,400 for Eric, the guy that developed or anybody, but remember our whole disaster resiliency logo set. Because when you and I, back when we wrote that very first grant, you would really talked a lot about like little educational cards that we would give away that show married plants, like, grow this with that. They're friends, or, so do we want to go ahead and launch a curriculum series like that? And if we do, I would just ask you for your expertise, because this is your baby. Plant baby.
It's not my baby, but I'm happy to help.
Okay, well, I mean,
So-
we could just pick your head about just the facts, and then I could just give them maybe to our social media manager or a graphic artist to take and like.
Yeah, I just stepped away because I was going to grab the book to show you where it comes from. So I will pull out the book and look at some stuff. And if you give me through next week, I can kind of look at things.
Okay.
Okay, so for Springfield graduations are June 8th. So it is Springfield graduations are that weekend. So I'm going to guess that Port Jay's that weekend as well, just so we know.
Okay.
Okay. Do you feel like that'll take away from
Or
our?
the 7th. If we're doing it on a Sunday, we'll be okay. If we're doing it on a Friday or a Saturday, people will have parties for their kids.
Okay. Yeah, we're going to focus on Sundays at the market. So, okay. Let's see. We also have $1,000 in the budget for gift cards from Backyard Farmer in the WIT, so we can maybe parse those out into $25 gift cards for folks to buy more items. I'm going to go ahead and go through Home Depot for that donation, try to get our plethora of the buckets, the nice white plain ones. And then we have a bunch of money for soil if we wanted to get together with Rexius. We've got 600 for soil amendments and tools, like fun little tools to just demonstrate how we do it. So
Lowe's and Jerry's also donate. So
we don't have to do home despotism. Sorry, I said that.
Just saying. We have more, like we could get buckets from one, plants from another, tools from another, if
Yeah.
need be.
All right. Yeah, I think that I thought of the Home Depot one because they have such an easy community donation thing. But Jerry's would be a much better one. Let's go. I'm going to start there.
Well, they both do. So I mean,
Okay. All right. And then we also have in the budget, if anybody wants to, we've got 200 for us as a group to maybe travel to farms. We could use the money for any kind of education that we want to do for ourselves as we start the program. So if anybody thinks of anything fun you want to do, we've got that money for mileage or just travel. So I don't think we should do any big overnights with it because it's a small grant. But if we want to even, I don't know, organize a little trip for folks to go out to one of our farms and meet some farmers, we have that money to manage that. So, okay. Let's see, I'm looking through here. We've got 6 months for, perfect. We have Kelsey paid for the 6 months of her to go really hard with this program. I'm kind of braiding some of that for marketing with our other big grant for disaster resiliency. So this is a really neat way to just blend the two. And I love that we're bringing food resilience into our disaster planning. So super cool. All right. Any parting thoughts from you all?
Yeah, I was thinking about disaster planning and those 40-foot trailers. And if we get, so I'm thinking this year I'm gonna really try and get Whitaker Community Council home and property that we hopefully own or at least lease that could park a trailer at. Would that help kind of our qualifying for that grant if we had a property like that?
It would. And thank you so much for bringing up that grant again. I have so much work to do on that. The deadline for it is April 30th. And it's going to sneak up hard.
Could we, in the meantime, try and go for it if we say get a public? What was that our strategy to secure public access or land or
right
and stuff somehow? Yeah.
Yeah, so the takeaway was through the sites that you all suggested at our last meeting for these potential trailers. I took that list back to the city. The city reviewed it all and they rejected. God, that was such an important part. I'm sorry I didn't share that with you. Why don't I email it later since we're at the end here? But they actually were like, okay, let's consider 3 or 4 out of the 8. And so Sierra Anderson suggested, as well as the Lane County Emergency Management Team, suggested that I go ahead and just let the grant fly without us really having a place to put these things, because it's going to take them so long to do the back and forth that we may as well put the foot in the door. And then worst case scenario, I think it was sort of implied that if we were accepted, then the city would have to just move to let us do it. So
Yeah.
it's kind
Force their hand. Yeah.
yeah, it's taking a lot of.
We have trailers and we're going to park them somewhere.
The city owes us big time. So I think we could push. The other good news is, I don't know if I have any sway, but the new interim superintendent of 4J, he and I used to work together as teachers.
Yay.
Well, there we go. That's
But,
we
but
got
4J,
that now.
but that property is still close to the river.
Yeah.
But we could say temporarily, can you allow us to put it in your parking lot?
Yeah.
And that is, they really suggested that we reach out to 4J independently, since that's not their purview. So, okay, so Thea, you and I need to get together this week potentially. Bye, Joanna. Thank you so much for coming. Oh, we can't hear you. Can you unmute?
I'm sending you an email. I'm watching what's going on. I'm trying to get these meetings on my calendar. What I'm finding online is not giving me the same information I saw in your email. I'm confused about everything.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So I need to talk to somebody so I can get past feeling really silly.
Oh, it's okay,
Okay.
Joanna. Feel free to reach out to me. I'll help you. We'll get it sorted because we so appreciate you coming.
Thank you. I
Okay.
appreciate your patience. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Good night.
Okay, good. So we're still pursuing that grant. I feel like having it put on either city property or one of the other public agencies' land is probably temporary as we search for our own home, our own property, our own community-owned piece of land somewhere. That's my goal.
And thank you. And I think, the siting of these things is quite an ordeal that OREM is going to send out contractors. So we do have time, Elliot, for you to do this development plan of property and land, because it's not like we get the grant and then there'd be like, okay, we're delivering the trailers, like there's going to be a long interim. And so I think, thank you for bringing it up. You can see how off course I was with that grant this week. It's just been hectic with other stuff we've been doing, but I'm making a giant note to myself, and I'm going to get back on that grant tomorrow, because it was like hard to keep going if we wouldn't have a place to do it. But
yeah,
we're going to get it sorted out. So I'll get that in by the 30th, and we'll have some cool stuff to play with.
Elliot, I think Ninkasi would be a good partner to talk with. I still haven't reached out about an office there. I haven't felt comfortable after the whole business thing.
Yeah.
Reaching out and asking, but they have a house that they're not using that I think they would donate temporarily anyway.
I think people are going to be pretty sympathetic when I roll up with my my bucket and my grabber picking up their parking lot, and then I say, "Hey, I might be soliciting for donations at some point." Also, in my neighborhood on North Polk, there's this nice kind of lot right on, basically A1 Glass owns it, and
Right.
it's the Net something group. Anyways, they're out of business since the pandemic, and their office is just empty and nobody's in it. And it's been a struggle even in the past for anybody to rent that piece of lot on Railroad Boulevard going towards Chambers, coming off of First. Yeah, so I might pitch to them, hey, we'll buy it, we'll take it over. It has a really nice backyard that's fenced in that could keep equipment. It's a mix of office and warehouse. It used to be like a store. So it's set up for the operations we want to do. We can store generators there, emergency equipment. We can store trailers. We can store, it can really grow with the organization. We can have an office there. So if we have a grant where, say the grant will fund a coordinator to come and work for us for 6 months, but we need to provide a computer and an office space, we can be compliant with that grant, that kind of thing. That's what I'm really shooting for.
Thank you. That's huge. That's going to make a world of difference. So,
And
So
the
we have
sis-
quite a few options. Yeah.
The sisters that own the empty parking lot where the automotive place was,
Mhm.
it's next to Ninkasi. Those are all buildings. They're all office spaces. That lot's been for sale for a long time. They might be ready to make a deal.
Yeah. Yeah. Sell it back to the community. That's
yeah.
They used to let us run a parking lot out of there. We did not pay very much for that.
okay.
The council.
So
Yeah. Yeah. That's interesting. That's where some funds were coming from before we moved into grant base, right, Thea?
yeah, so businesses would donate for parking spaces.
Mm-hmm.
And
Oh,
so
nice.
Taco Board donated money, Ninkasi donated money, and then all these lots, Ijike, Meiji, I don't know if Slice did or not. And they all used the different parking lots. We had 2 different parking lots that we had, and that's how WCC used to make their money. So
Yeah.
Yeah. I really want us to get back to more of a baseline donation-based organization, which it's been really difficult to donate in general because you can only send a check right now. So that's my main agenda, is completely redoing the online donation portal and making that super easy. I'm mostly just going to steal all the vendors that Dot One Block uses. They have a great donation page. I'm just going to use all their stuff.
There you go.
Why
have a lot of-
reinvent the wheel? They're doing pretty good on their donations.
Elliot, we have a lot of businesses that are willing to donate once it's easy.
Yeah, right. I tried to donate and I got an error message so that our accounts weren't linked and it would just go nowhere. So it's one of those. So I'm going to get that sorted as vice chair and someone who used to be a systems administrator. I can get that set up pretty easy. So
Good.
Yeah.
Excellent. We're so glad you're on board.
yeah,
Yay.
let's do this.
All
I want
right.
us to be a well-funded nonprofit. Nobody
Good.
loves being a well-funded nonprofit.
No, it's not. It has not been easy. I assure you.
Yeah. Cool. Okay.
All right. Thank you all so much, Thea. We so appreciate you hopping on. And
Sorry I was late, but
no, we're so glad you came. But
make my dinner now. Julie, before I forget, I got you a really cool sign that says, I adopted my block, and it's for your yard.
Yay! Thank you so much. I was so sorry to miss meeting Frank and going to that event, but I'm so glad you guys did. Thank you for the sign.
Yeah, I will bring it by.
and then Thea sent me a great picture of Elliot. It's so cool, and I hope it's okay, Elliot, if we use it at some point for.
Oh, please do. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it's a great photo. It's this one. It's really cute. So
Nice.
good. All right, friends. Have a great rest of your evening, and expect 1,000 emails from me soon for all the connecting dots here. So,
Is there not a board meeting tomorrow night? Because I got a thing that it was canceled.
there is a board meeting tonight,
Yeah.
tomorrow night. you received a cancellation from the old Zoom platform.
Oh, okay. Because I
Yeah.
was like, okay.
Yep,
All right.
that's over. Now we've moved over to Google Meet, so all the invites are coming out of there. So
Okay. Good.
I
yep.
was gonna say, Thea, you're on the agenda, so please show up.
Yeah,
I
please
know I'm
come.
on the,
Yeah.
I'm on the agenda. I haven't ready yet.
All right.
I'm in trouble. What time do I have to be there? I'll find it. All
All
right.
Okay, good.
Okay.
All right, all.
Okay,
Have
guys.
a good rest of your night.
All right.
Welcome
Bye now.
back, Julie.
Thank you. It's good to be back.